This is all off the cuff. But
Okay.
you have really good things to say to people. And that's generally what this is about. So this is 10 minutes of you talking about what you've learned about gratitude.
Yes.
And you're a people person.
Yes.
And I'm a person. So we're just going to talk about it.
Right.
And see what we get. We talked about things that you would share with people. And on the top of your list was gratitude.
100%.
You've learned a ton about gratitude.
Yeah.
Give me, like, the Cliff's Notes version of what you've learned about gratitude.
Well, I had started a rhythm of gratitude when I became a young mom, like literally documenting and writing it down. And I have those and they're really sweet. But I don't think I really, really understood what gratitude was probably until the last 8 to 11 years. And I think it's been when things got hard for me. When I lost my mom and there was struggles here in my house. My marriage wasn't great. My children were suffering. But I didn't want anybody to know any of that. You know, I don't know if I purposely kept it a secret, but I certainly wasn't talking about it. And to be honest, I didn't have a lot of people to talk about it. I can't remember how it started, but I just remember writing things down, and I could barely spit out 3 a day. It's kind of funny looking at it now because it's like, really? It was 3 a day. But that's not like condemning myself. That's all I had. That's all I could see with those eyes. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I can say is I think gratitude is a multiplier. I think all the things are there that we can see in the everyday simple, or you recognize how beautiful the teeny tiny small things are. And I don't know, it just softened me.
So if your granddaughter walked in here, she's 4?
Yeah.
How would you explain gratitude to her?
That's a great question. I think I would say, tell me the things that you love, what she notices around her that are blessings, or what makes her feel alive.
Is there a difference between gratitude and thankfulness?
I don't know. If I'm honest, I don't know. I use them interchangeably. If I had to say for me what it was, it's harder to be grateful than thankful. To me, it feels like thankful kind of goes along with happy, or gratitude goes along with joy. Like whatever your current circumstance is, right? I have found myself to be able to be content. And I think maybe that's the difference in the beginning of my journaling. It was what's making me happy. It was a lot of I statements. Now I just know it's not all about me and it's not all about my happiness.
When is it hardest to be grateful?
Honestly, when I'm struggling with depression, because my eyes are not my eyes. I can't see.
Do you still practice gratitude?
I do.
How do you do it?
I still write it down every day. There's always something to be thankful for. I mean, and it could be as simple as Steve picked the kids up today because I was exhausted and I needed to sleep 4 hours, and I just don't feel bad about that. Or my counselor, or in my quiet time, if I made myself do it, Jesus met me there. Like, even if it's for a second.
What's your rhythm with it look like right now?
Well, I start my mornings off with some kind of devotional, and I really like to keep that small because I can get distracted easily, and because I just like bite-sized nuggets of things. I'm not a big picture, like I'm right here, I'm with you, or I'm in this moment, and that's really precious to me. And so it's a verse or two, and it's Ann Boskamp. The way she talked about gratitude was a whole other level. And you'd have to read the book, really, to
What's the book?
Get into the definition. It's 1,000 Gifts. But her devotional is what I'm doing right now. And just the way she says things and makes you look at gratitude, like Hannah in the Bible. So Hagar and her son, they are banished into the desert. And I know this story. I've known it since I was a kid. But it gets so bad they don't have any water. They're dying, so she leaves her son. It doesn't say how old he is, but you just get the feeling he's little. And she goes away from him because she can't watch him die. So she's just like devastated. But I guess she cries out to God, and it says her eyes are open and there's a well. And so she goes and gets water. But Anne's point was the well was always there. She just couldn't see it. And I think that that's true. I think there's so many blessings that we just get we literally walk by every day little gifts that are not opened. It makes me sad when I think of it in that perspective, because when you think about giving someone something that, like your kid or your best friend, you know, your spouse, and you've made this thing specifically for them, and they perhaps just walk by it, you know, that would be devastating, actually. Mm-hmm. So to do it day by day, I know I was doing it over and over and over.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
If you know a Hagar, like someone who right now is in a desperate situation and can see no way out, what do you tell her about gratitude? Because my impression of that story is she's not even really in a place where she's just trying to survive, because survival doesn't even seem like it's on the table anymore.
Right.
So how does gratitude meet her there?
For me personally, that's my favorite kind of place. I don't have any control over the situation. As soon as I think I have an ounce of, like, I could affect this or change the course, then I'm in that mode. Again, I'll go back to a season like where I've been grieving or where I've been struggling with mental health. And I know I can't make it stop. For me, there's really been no other course besides absolute despair or trusting in my faith and literally conversing with God, like listening, talking, writing angry words out, writing sweet words out. It's very complex. I would just say don't give up. And I would ask for you to reach out to one person, at least one. Hopefully you have that. And just tell them where you're at.
What's the relationship between gratitude and empathy?
I know it's increased my empathy. And maybe just because it's less I statements, it makes me more aware of a bigger picture and a loving God that is doing things in this collective way. Like it's a lot of threads together. It's not, one string. It's not just my life. For sure, it's made me more empathetic. I think the other thing maybe that it's coincided with is vulnerability. So I definitely noticed when I started gratitude journaling, when I became aware of all the blessings in my life, in that I did a teaching that talked about moms. That was the hard season for me with littles. That I hated cleaning off the table. I hated cleaning off the kitchen table over and over and over. There were spills and it was always sticky and crumbs. And to this day, actually, there's still, if you go in there right now, I guarantee you. And that for me just was torture. I'm ashamed to say it, but I was like the 18th time today. But when I started changing, when God started softening my heart, when I started looking around at the ridiculous life, the beautiful blessings, our health, even in hard times, I recognized that the table could be an altar. It could be a place where I could serve and worship. It wasn't just my job. And I could be grateful for food. I could be grateful for clean water. I could be grateful for heat or cool air. I could be grateful for the friends sitting around it. I would have told you I was, but this big blanket statement of I'm really thankful for my life doesn't really do it. Mm-hmm. It's pitiful. The naming's important. It's really important. It's precious. It's almost holy.
Can you do it wrong?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Just not doing it. And it shouldn't feel like whenever we talk about gratitude or my mentees and I'll be like, the goal is 5 times a week, at least 3 things. But as soon as that feels like prison, don't do that. Or if it starts to feel like I have to do this, then first of all, check yourself. Why do you feel that way? What's going on? But then all right, get crazy. Do it 4 days. Then the next day, go back to 5. I don't think it has to be, it's not school. It's not church. It's a blessing and reflection. And it should be fun.
Why did so you were saying that 2 of the people that you mentor were having a hard time today, and you asked if they had gratitude journal.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Well, it was this week. And so it was It's always one of the first questions I ask, because I know for me, it's almost like, I can only speak for me. Last week I was like, why am I so irritable? Why am I angry? Why am I snapping? Well, I had forgotten to take medicine 2 days in a row. Didn't realize that. But I hadn't gratitude journal for 4 days. Is it a combo of those things? Is it that I just was having a bad day? That's how I would have wrote it off. But now I know myself better. Like, you don't have a reason to be irritable. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. So I just keep asking myself why until I get deeper. And it's a rhythm that I've come to depend on. It's like water and food. I just need it. I need it.
Well, what are you grateful for right now?
Sunshine. Huge. Huge. Moving to the city. More time with my family. Less things. A much smaller space. So I'll have more freedom I'll just have more time. I don't have to clean as much.
How can you tell?
Yeah, how do you spot it?
How do you spot it?
How do you spot it? I would say they're smiling. And it's cliche, but you're the best at that, by the way. You're always smiling.
I call it resting Midwest face.
At the very least, they're like engaged, even eye contact and stuff. That's someone who is just paying attention to what's around them. I think they also are good listeners. Even if they're engaging in conversation with you, like even if they don't want to hear you. I'm thinking of my husband. He's a super high introvert, and so he doesn't love a lot of words. But he is genuinely interested in something that, you're passionate about, or that you can connect with, Mm-hmm. This is a relational thing. And I think it's just someone who's genuinely happy that you are there, that you're involved with them. A grateful person recognizes worth. They recognize worth. And it's that someone is unique, but that everyone is equal.
Yeah, you said they're good equalizers.
They are. They just come into a space and people are drawn to them. People are drawn to them. They want to be around them. They don't know why. They think they're amazing.
Can grateful people get pissed off?
Oh, yeah.
What's that look like? How do you maintain gratitude when you're angry?
I'm a big feeler, May.
Okay.
I'm a big feeler. And I don't apologize for a hot second for it. And people who say you can't trust your feelings, I don't believe that that's true. I think sometimes you can't. But I think people that are made like to feel really big, they're important. They sense things coming. Or they recognize people hurting, or celebrating. And I'm in. Anger is my first go-to emotion, and it's really where gratitude changed me. Because I wouldn't feel any other emotion, like sadness or frustration, or if I feel chaotic. Instead of ever going there, I would go to anger, because it felt more proactive. Felt like I was doing something, and like it justified. It's also, the irritability is what I call it, chronic irritability. Like if I'm 2 or 3 days into just nitpicking and being pissed. Like, why? Well,
do we count that as a cuss word? Or?
What's in the Bible? So I feel like we're okay.
It is? Yeah. Where? Pissed?
Oh, well, piss.
Where?
Promise. Something about a dude who pissed against a wall.
No, it's not.
Promise you. I bet you money.
I'm going to find it.
Okay, we're keeping piss.
That's going to be on my gratitude list. that word exists in the Bible. Is it in the Message or something, or
old school girl? I think it's literally pisseth with a th. I'm gonna find it. It's true.
Okay, I'll put it in here.
Yeah.
Can people suck at gratitude?
I really don't think so. I just think people aren't aware that it's important. Because when you think about it, it's almost like a cute word. It's powerful. It's a weapon. It's one of the biggest secrets that I unlocked that I just want to tell everybody about it. I don't know why some things happen. I know we all deal with pain, but I know that for me, I'm very quick to say, how could God let that happen to me. You know, well, how could I be dealing with this again? And I'm speaking about, I'm not speaking about anyone else but myself. Depression is an area where I struggle. And the last one was, it was hard. But I don't say every other day, like I said, this life, how could God let this happen to me? Right? How could I get or deserve or be blessed with or all of it, this rug, that my friend, that green plant, the woods behind me, my magnolia that's named after my friend, all of it.
What's its name?
Angela. Yeah, how could God let all this happen to me is beyond me. I'm dumbfounded and grateful.
You have any questions for me?
What are you thankful for?
Thankful or grateful?
What's the difference, May?
I feel like you answered that about 15 minutes
I'm not sure
ago.
I did, because I was honest. I was like, I don't know.
But
honestly.
I liked what you said about, when you said it, it reminded me of those SAT questions where it's like, this is to this as this is to this. So the idea of happy is to thankful as joy is to gratitude, that makes a lot of sense to me. Because I find that even if I'm low, there's still joy to be found. There's still gratitude to be found.
Always.
But when I'm low, I don't necessarily feel that way about happiness. I don't feel required to be happy. I feel required to feel joyful.
Yeah.
There's no good reason for me not to feel joyful, but there might be a good reason for me not to be happy.
Yeah. 100%. It always makes me think of Job. He lost almost everything. But his friends came from far away and sat with him, and he still had his wife, even though she was struggle bussing. It's fair. He's the one who said, how could we take the bad and not the good? Like, how could we not take the bad when we've had all of this good? Like, this is the earth. This is the world. There is suffering.
Is he also the one who said, I pisseth against the wall? No? Probably. Find that.
I have another I'm thankful.
Okay.
And it's a thankful that you took the time to ask me hard questions about what I think God wants me to do. I know it has to do with my voice, but my favorite part of that conversation was you said, I want to help you amplify. I want to help amplify your voice. And I know it's like not my voice, but we all need people like that because the things you're good at, I'm not. I'm so not. I don't know. I wanted to thank you for that.
Thanks for teaching me about gratitude.
It was fun.
I'm going to go take a piss.
Just try to keep it off the wall.
We found the title for that one.
We do.